Hello, namaskar, and a very good evening to all the viewers watching our session out there. This is Simran Singh, and you are all watching us on PME Vidya channel number 6 to 12. Well, we have different mediums through which we can connect with all our viewers and through which you can keep on asking your queries and questions. And one of them is our YouTube channel, as you all know. It is NCRE Official. So once again, I welcome all our viewers in this 5 days online training sessions on virtual labs for teaching, learning and assessment. It's around 4 p.m. on your watch and regularly from Monday till Fridays at this particular timing, that is from 4 till 5 p.m. We have our special sessions for all our viewers, and here for another 4 days we have our training programs, and today is the first day. We all know that it is very important to understand about laboratories, about the virtual experiences, because it enhances our practical knowledge and at the same time it enhances our classroom experiences. So just imagine if I tell you that we have virtual laboratories for our viewers, where you can get almost hands-on experience on the different experiments of science, chemistry, physics. So it becomes quite easy for you, right? Therefore, we have our conversations for all our viewers. So we have these 5 days online training sessions, and a broader theme would be virtual labs for teaching, learning and assessment. Today is the day one where we'll discuss about virtual labs, the policy perspectives, need and scope. And guiding our part in the conversation, we are joined by a couple of esteemed panelists. So allow me to introduce you with all our panelists who have joined in the conversation. We have with us Professor Amrendra Behra sir. Namaskar sir.
नमस्कार सिमरन
सर, बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है आपका इस सत्र में. So he's joint director at CIT NCRE. Then along with this conversation we have with us Professor Indu Kumar ma'am. Namaskar ma'am.
Namaskar.
We welcome you in the conversation with open arms. Ma'am is from CIT NCRE as well.
Thank you Simran.
Then I am also delighted to inform you that here we are joined by Dr. Shashi Kumar M sir. Namaskar sir.
नमस्कार सिमरन
सर, बहुत बहुत इस्तकबाल है आपका इस सत्र में. Sir is Executive Director from CDAC, Mumbai. So viewers of this conversation, if you have any of the queries, then feel free to write down to us in the comment section of NCRE Official. Besides, here is a contact number that is flashing on your screens. So feel free to give us a call at 8800440559 and also a specific mail ID for all our viewers. That is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So in our conversations, in our discussions, you keep on asking us about the queries, about the links through which you can connect with us and the different sorts of questions. So one simple answer to that is keep on scrolling CIT website. So here let me take you across our website so that you can have a good understanding of the website and also our training sessions. So it's a simple concept. If you need to know about our website, then it's www.ciet.nic.in. So it's flashing on your screen, and yes, just click on the first tab and here certain details are provided about our website. So there are a number of options that you can watch over here. All you have to do is click on events, and under events it's the third last option that says workshop/training. So if you just scroll a bit down, you can see that there are 3 kind of activities available for all our viewers. The first one is the current activity, completed activity and the upcoming activity. So as I inform you that from 26th of September, that is from today till 30th September, that is till Friday, we have our virtual labs for teaching, learning and assessment. This is our special training session for 5 days. So all the information about our training session is available on the web page of CIET NCRE. Quickly, if we scroll down, you can get an entire analysis of the 5 days and the topics that we are going to cover. Like the first day, it says virtual labs, policy perspectives, need and scope. Tomorrow, we'll give you more information about the types and exemplars pertaining to virtual labs. Then on 28th of September, we have the discussion on exploring virtual labs for sciences. On 29th of September, it would be for mathematics, and 30th September, it would be about exploring virtual labs for languages. And here are certain objectives laid down, and also one question from all our viewers that you keep on asking us regularly is who all can be a part of our sessions, like who all can participate in the quiz. So here it's the students, teachers, teacher educators, parents, administrators, general public. It is open for all. So you all can be a part of our online sessions, and we'll try to take all your queries in the session itself. Now, how you can participate, let us quickly have a look at these simple steps. The first one says registration. There will be a Google form and also a QR code that you can scan. Then you can watch our live training sessions through different mediums. And NCRE Official is our YouTube channel. In the comment section, you can place your queries. Then step number 3 is the participation in the post-session activity and the certification. We'll discuss more about that. But till now, I would like to inform you that for our sessions, if you have any of the queries, then here is a mail desk help ID for all of you. It is training.helpdesk@cit.nic.in. So without taking much of your time, let us quickly begin this discussion on virtual labs, the policy perspectives, need and scope. Once again, I welcome all the esteemed panelists in the conversation along with our viewers. So in the first place, I would request Professor Behra that in the light of NEP 2020, do explain to our viewers about the policy perspectives on virtual labs. Yes.
Thank you very much, Imran. Very good afternoon. Namaskar to all the viewers. Esteemed Dr. Sajid Kumar, Executive Director, CIDAC, Mumbai, and the Ministry of Electronics and IT. My esteemed colleague, Professor Indu Kumar from CIET, and distinguished participants who are online, working school teachers, teacher educators, students from many different variety of schools and teacher education institutions. So on my personal behalf, on behalf of NCRT, I welcome all of you to this session. As Simran has already mentioned, it will be a 5-day program on the virtual lab. And all of us, we know that any lab plays a crucial role in students' learning. So therefore, whether it is a physical lab or a virtual lab. And the NEP 2020 has very rightly endorsed that laboratories needs to facilitate experiential learning with their virtual labs also, and also provide equitable holistic education to all. So in this particular case, the augmented reality content and the virtual reality content are very crucial. And taking this policy direction from here, in collaboration with CIDAC Mumbai and Amrita University, the CIT and CRT has worked together to bring in the virtual labs developed by CIDAC and Amrita to Diksha portal, and it is delivered through the app as well. The main concern is there are many abstract concepts which are not understood by the students. So through virtual lab activities, how using simulations, videos, and also text virtual lab manuals developed by NCERT, how students can exercise those, and the abstract concepts they can learn through 3D animation, interactive, provided through this virtual lab. There are 218 plus virtual labs already placed on Diksha, and all of you can access those for free. And also we have been working towards realizing the goal of the budget announcement 2022-23. Under the budget announcement, there is a mention of around development of 825 virtual labs, including nearly 100 skill labs. So these labs will spread across class 6 to 12, starting from science and mathematics, and will also go for other subject areas, including the skill lab. So these labs are, as I mentioned, absolutely shared for free. So any student, teacher educator, they can get it, and they can attend these sessions also to learn more about the labs and how they can use these labs in their classroom and help students learn up to a comparable quality of education. So with these words, once again, I welcome all of you. I also welcome the team from CIT and CIDAC Mumbai, who will be continuously interacting with all of you on these 5 days. And we will try to have more hands-on experience for you rather than lecture-based only demonstration. So, today, since it is policy-related issues, so we are focusing on theoretical aspects, but slowly on subsequent days, we will have more demonstrations and interaction through these labs. With these words, once again, I welcome all of you on behalf of NCRT and on my behalf and on behalf of Amrita University back Mumbai. So thank you very much. Over to Simran too.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for laying a strong foundation of our training sessions where we are going to discuss about virtual labs, policy perspectives, the need and the scope. In the conversation, we also have with us Indu ma'am. So ma'am, I'll request you to take the discussion forward and inform our viewers more about the need of virtual labs.
Yeah. So, Professor Behra very beautifully mentioned about the budget announcement and the need of virtual labs as per NEP 2020, and what is the target of developing these virtual labs, how many virtual labs we will be having in future, and we will keep on topping it up with more labs after the target which is prescribed is achieved through the joint efforts of CIET, then Amrita University and CDAC Mumbai, who are working with us on this initiative. So let me project my presentation and tell you the key points which are related to need, scope, and also I will reiterate the NEP recommendations for virtual labs. So I will project my slide here. So you can see what are the recommendations of NEP 2020. So creating virtual laboratories so that all students have equal access to quality practicals and hands-on experiments based learning experiences. So these virtual laboratories are to make student access these virtual labs so that they can have quality practicals and also hands-on learning experiences related to lab-based activities. So here the question may arise why this virtual labs are required, why these virtual laboratories are recommended in NEP 2020. Because in a country like India, we have a varied population and also we have a varied infrastructure also in school due to many reasons. Somewhere in remote areas and in other areas also, labs are not there in a good shape. So to stop the deprivation of students from the lab experiences, these virtual labs can be a solution so that they can get a near to real experience of working in the laboratory, though it is not real. Apart from this, very few lab periods we have when we study in schools. So to make the labs available off school hours also, these lab experiments are there in virtual spaces where they can interact, they can with the simulations and other related resources to practice the lab experiences which they already had in real situations in school. So it is to make the laboratory available anytime, anywhere. Then there is no substitute to hands-on experiences. That is also a reality. जो physical laboratory में what kind of experiences we have, but virtual labs have the great potential to enhance actual learning experiences. I already mentioned this while explaining the previous bullet point. So these lab-based e-resources can help students in visualizing the concept in a better manner. So that is the entire purpose and that is the NEP recommendation also as far as virtual labs are concerned. So idea behind setting up these virtual labs, the virtual labs are based on the idea that lab experiments can be taught using internet more efficiently in a cost effective manner. So this is cost effective also, one time cost is involved, but later on these virtual labs will be available in virtual spaces forever and a lot of students can get benefited by the lab experiences that we are having through these virtual labs. So they will also be they will also benefit the students who do not have access to physical labs or schools where equipments are not available. So it has a twofold purpose. Then the other benefit of having these virtual labs is that experiments can be accessed anytime, anywhere, which I have already mentioned, and these virtual labs overcome the constraints of time, as physical labs are available only during school hours. So these are several ideas behind setting up of virtual labs. So what all are available on virtual labs when you access the virtual labs there? So there are theories and procedures. There are some text material about the theory of the experiment. There are animations and videos which are there on the virtual labs. So through animations and videos, whatever you have learned in the theory part, you can get a visualization of the same. Then there are simulations. In simulation, you can actually have hands-on experiences, how you carry out experiment in real laboratory. So same laboratory experience is there in a simulated environment. Then there is a section viva voce where you can actually practice, or it is self-evaluation. Whatever you have learned, you can self-evaluate to know whether the outcome which was there for that particular lab experiment has been achieved by you or not. So that is the idea behind it, or whether you have grasped the content in totality. Then feedback. Feedback is meant for improving the resources from users' perspectives. So just creating labs and giving them to the children in virtual environment will not solve the purpose. We also need to have feedbacks from the users, so that a constant improvement in the kind of labs and simulations we are housing in the virtual environment can be done. So improvement is also very, very essential. So then what are the steps to reach the virtual labs we are mentioning here? So Diksha, as you all know, is envisaged as a one nation, one platform kind of initiative, where everything related to all resources, digital textbooks and contents, training are housed in one single platform. So it has been decided to have these virtual labs also in the same environment on Diksha. So you have to type, you have to use your browser, and then you have to type the URL http, you can see on screen, diksha.gov.in. On typing this URL on the top menu bar of your after opening your browser, you will get this page. So this is the home page of Diksha. So if you click on to the last button which you are seeing below Explore, you will get this page. So this is Virtual Labs page, and after clicking on to Explore, below the banner you will reach on to this page. So here you can see that the virtual lab content which is organized class wise is available here. So you can see the virtual content, virtual labs organized for classes 6 to 12th. If you click on to Explore below any class, you will get the medium. So the labs are available in Hindi and English. We are into a process of having them bilingual. Currently all the labs are not available in Hindi and English, but there are some which are available in Hindi as well as in English. So you have to click on to the medium, whether you want to access these labs in Hindi medium or in English medium. If you click on to any medium, so that labs in those mediums will be accessed. So, if you scroll down the page a little bit, so you will get this page. So, it will give you a drop down menu in your desired medium. Mentioning these subjects, mathematics or science. If there are labs in English language, you will get it in the drop down. So, whatever subject you want to explore, you will click on to that subject, and the lab experiences or lab content related to that particular subject will be there. So, you can see here that this page will open. If you click on to explanation resources to reach the link for the related resources. So, you have to click onto the onto explanation resource. So, you will get the variety of resources which will help you in your learning journey. So, you can get whatever resources up till now are available there in the subject of your choice and in the desired medium, if they are in your desired medium. So, this is about the virtual labs. On Diksha, I used screenshots to show you, but we can also have a real experience on the virtual lab, how to get them. I would like to take you through the virtual labs quickly, so that you get a real exemplars of virtual labs on Diksha. So, I would like to get out of this PPT here and just want to use my browser.
So here viewers, we have the information regarding the
Can I
need.
stop share here?
Yeah, of course. You may stop sharing. All right. So till then, I would like to inform all our viewers that you have connected with us in large numbers. Thank you so much for the beautiful comments that have been pouring in the comment section of NCERT official, and I am sure that you are all enjoying this conversation with us, where we are discussing about virtual labs, the policy perspectives, the need and the scope. And also the training sessions will be there for 5 days. That is, today is the first day and 30th September is going to be the 5th day of our online training sessions. So if you are not able to watch our sessions live, then you don't have to worry at all, because www.ciet.nic.in, that is our web page through which you can connect with us and also keep on watching all our videos, and also the links of the videos are available on our YouTube channel, that is NCERT official. Let me also quickly take you through the broader topics that we are going to discuss. So tomorrow we have the types and exemplars, and day after tomorrow on 28th of September we are going to discuss about exploring virtual labs for sciences. Then on 29th of September it's exploring virtual labs for mathematics, and on the concluding day, that is 30th of September, we will discuss how to explore virtual labs for languages. So I am pretty sure that this is going to be very interesting for all our viewers, and we also have a post session activity for all our viewers that we also have for like all our training sessions, that is the quiz. And if you score over 70% in this quiz, then you'll be also able to receive a certificate from CIET NCERT. So the registration steps are quite easy. Just now I demonstrated the web page for all our viewers. So there are certain simple steps. You can go for the registration, you can participate, keep on watching our sessions, and also you can have a look at the banner, and in case there are certain areas that you would like to highlight or discuss, then do mention in the comment section of NCERT official. So it becomes very easy for you to pick up your questions and try to include them in our conversation, and we try to take all your questions in our sessions itself. So as we just informed that today in the conversation we have our 3 panelists with the viewers, and where ma'am was discussing about the need of online labs, that is virtual labs, and how they can give us hands-on experience, that is near to real life experiences on the laboratory experiments. So yeah, ma'am, guide our path through.
So I have already mentioned, explained through these screenshots on how to explore Diksha. So you have to type the URL, use your browser, then you have to type the URL diksha.gov.in, and then you need to click below the banner the explore button, and while clicking onto explore button you will get the virtual lab page. So here we can see the page of virtual labs, and if I take you through the kind of experiments which are available there, you can see over here that here on the right hand side of the page which is opened here, you can see all the lab manual activities linked to which you will be getting the virtual lab experiences. So, let us quickly see one experiment which is there on this virtual lab. So, it is about an experiment which is a 3D experiment for class 8th, and if we click on to start button, so we will get this virtual lab setting. So here instructions are also there. So place the test tube into hot water. This is the first instruction which is given. So the test tube is placed here in the hot water, and you see that the balloon, you can see the balloon which is placed on the test tube is blown here because it is filled with water, air, sorry. So place the test tube back to the stand. So now I am placing the test tube back to the stand, and you can see that it is, the balloon is shrunk. Then transfer the test tube with the balloon into cold water. Now I am placing it here, and you will see that it is further shrunk when we put it into the cold water. So like that you can get a lot of experiment which give you 3D experience and also 2D experience and simulations. So here you can see here theory related to this experience. If you click on to the theory icon, you will get the theory, then procedure, then you will get a video here, you will get a simulator here, and viva voce, which I already mentioned, and also there is a provision of getting feedback. So like that we can have an experience of virtual labs on Diksha. So this is all about the kind of experiences which we will be having on virtual labs. Also, as already mentioned, during these 5 days, you will be actually experiencing specific virtual labs related to science, mathematics, and languages. And in future, we are also aiming to develop such simulations and labs in other subject areas also. So that was all about virtual labs from my side. Over to Simran.
Yeah, thank you so much for guiding our viewers about the need of the virtual labs, the scope, and how we can have near to real life experiences with the help of laboratories. It gives us a practical understanding, and at the same time it seems quite interesting and fun. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Simran.
Now allow me to invite our next speaker in the conversation, Dr. Shashi Kumar sir from CDAC, Mumbai. Sir, I'll request you to please apprise our viewers about how virtual labs were conceptualized, their development, and also what is the current status of virtual labs. Yeah, sir.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just putting the screen on. Okay. Okay, so I hope the screen is visible.
Yeah, sir. It's pretty visible to us.
Okay. So, a very good afternoon to all the viewers, and Dr. Vera and Dr. Sindhu has actually given you some feel of what is it that we have made available for all of you in the space of virtual labs. I'm going to take a step back and kind of look at, how did we come to this, what are we trying to do, and what is it that we are trying to do in the maybe couple of years to go. We, as Dr. Vera mentioned, we are trying to look at an excellent repository of over 800 labs and covering various subjects from class 6 to 12. And that will be a fantastic way for you to experience a lot of different activities, concepts, and topics related to the various topics that you'll be studying in subjects that you're studying in class 6 to 12. Okay, so with that, so our journey started about 10 years back, about 2010. Siddharth and Amrita came together and said, virtual labs is going to be something that is going to be very important. So let us try to work on it. So we did an initial pilot project with about 20 of the 25 labs on science and maths. And that was quite successful, and then and there has been no looking back after that. So today we have, as part of the project, we did about 170 labs covering physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and English from classes 9 to 12. And you already saw some of a couple of those that Professor Indu demonstrated to you. And the great thing about this is that all these labs are going to be accessible freely over the web. You can go to the Diksha portal and we have already seen that. And there's also an integrated labs portal which we can do only for the labs, and we are now, if that's of interest. And so, as I said, it's been a 10+ year long journey, and we hope to kind of reach on board 800 to 900 labs in the next couple of years. Okay. So with that backdrop, so this is what we said that is currently available. We have classes 9 to 12 are covered, but only for these subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and some labs in English, which is also worth checking out because language labs is a critical issue for many of the people. For example, how do you convert from a tense from one tense to another tense, or active voice to passive voice? There are excellent practical sessions that you can go through during using the English labs. In addition, about 30 more labs have been added in the last 6 months, and we are working on adding a lot more in the coming months in this repository. So, what is the role of labs in education? I think Professor Indu very succinctly mentioned about the need for labs. Let me elaborate it on a couple of minutes. So, it is an important device in the learning process because it gives you hands-on feel of the lessons learned. I mean, we have heard about stories of students learning Newton's law, first law, second law, third law, and then when their car is stuck in the sand and they don't know what to do with it, right? So you have to connect the theory that you learn with the practical perspectives or practical applications, and the lab gives you a feel of that. It is connecting the theory to the real life. It's also focusing on experiment as a key paradigm in science. It is also important that students develop an ability to probe more, so to ask questions like, what would happen if I did this? What would happen if I did not have something there? So these are also things which are experimental mode, which you can easily explore once you have a physical lab. Now, not everybody has access to physical lab in adequate measure, so we said, okay, if we could do the mimic that in a virtual scenario, you can actually ask all these questions in a virtual mode without time and the space constraints, right? And we also talk about better internalization of the content. And as the famous saying goes, if you tell me something, I may forget. If you show me, I may remember better, but still the chances of forgetting is much higher. Involve me and I will understand. And this is the same philosophy that we are talking about for years in the area of active learning, where the students are active participants in the learning experience. So when you do a lab activity, when you are doing a session like this, the students are actively involved in the activity, performing the activity. So you have to, light the burner, you have to put the, fill the liquid in the test tube, or you have to place the lens in order to find the focal length. So you are involved at every step. You get immediate feedback on what is happening, whether you did the right thing and things like that. So this is fantastic way of bringing a lot of practical components to it. But then, as we know, cost and space requirements are there for the physical infrastructure. So there are many schools where adequate infrastructure is not available. Even if when you want to do lab on chemistry particularly, there is a lot of raw material that is required. You need to buy the magnesium or the various types of acids, bases, salts. All of these has to be purchased and replenished regularly. So ultimately what we do is, there will be one session in a week where you go to the physical lab in a group, everybody together, and you do get a physical feel, which is fantastic, but you may not be able to absorb whatever is happening, think about it, and that real active learning may not actually take place. Further, even if most of the labs do not support Divyang students, for example, people with the various kinds of disabilities, how do they perform, or how do they get a lab experience? And further, not all activities are available to physical labs. So suppose I want to show nuclear reaction, or I want to I want the student to experience a very fast reaction or a very slow activity like a life cycle of a mosquito, or I want to show what will happen to my pendulum if I take it to the moon or the Mars. All of these can only be explained theoretically, right? I cannot actually show you even if I had a physical lab. So these are some strong reasons to say, can we look at technology to enhance this experience? And that's actually what motivates us to look at virtual labs. So we already have covered a fair amount of this, so I'm not elaborating this. So the OLabs or the virtual labs that we are offering to you are the simulation labs. So, as ma'am mentioned, it is unconstrained availability, right? Once the lab is built, it is available online, any number of people, anywhere, any time of the day or night, you can access it, you can try it out for any number of times, except your internet access, there are no constraints, right? So, the cost is trivial once it is developed, but the development cost can be high because these are actually software can be developed for each lab individually. So there is a fair amount of effort and energy that is required to build these labs. It is also important to remember that simulations attempt to mimic the reality. I mean, we are not copying the reality as it is in all its manifestations, but we are trying to mimic it. So therefore, there is a boundary at which you should confuse the simulations with the reality. So, for example, when you do a Hooke's law experiment where you put the weights and look at the elongation, the law says that this law is valid only in the Springs linearity region, which in a simulation you may not necessarily enforce it. So these are the kind of things that you should look at. So simplifications are introduced in this process. But one of the great things that virtual labs can do is to manipulate the time scale, right? So if I have a very fast reactions, you can set 1 nanosecond to 1 second of your physical time. Or if you have a very slow reaction, you can have 1 day equal to, let's say, 5 seconds or something. So you are able to compress or expand the time scale, so you can actually go through this full experiment in a reasonable time frame and still benefit the maximum out of it, right? And as I said, you can also take the pendulum in Moon or Jupiter or wherever you want and get a feel of what happens to the pendulum without actually having to travel to the Moon or Mars. So everybody has actually, during the pandemic, we have actually seen the impact that these labs have, and the large number of teachers who have logged in today. I mean, I can see that on the YouTube, we have a fairly large number of those who have joined for this session. So all that means that this is something that is effective. This is something that is tremendously valuable for our school education. And not surprisingly, the National Education Policy recognizes the value of this and documents it. So real life experiences are important for a complete picture. Therefore, we should not look at and say, well, I have virtual labs and therefore now I don't need to go to the lab and the schools need not equip any physical lab. That would be a disaster. We should have physical lab. People have to go there. For example, when you produce hydrogen sulfide, you need to feel that smell. Unfortunately, a virtual lab today cannot give you that smell, or to actually feel the heat or the temperature of the various components, or how the the various elements actually feel to your hand. These are all things that you need to get from the physical lab. So I always look at virtual labs as an amplifier of what the physical lab can do. If you can spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes in the physical lab, augment it with virtual lab, and you could actually amplify it to maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour to get a complete learning experience. So with these caveats, there is still a lot we can do to make it a positive experience, and which is to provide a comprehensive ecosystem. So you can see that lots of simulations are currently available even online. If you go to Google, you can find Hooks law simulations, etc. But in order to use it, there is a lot of adaptations that you will have to do to make this work. Okay, so provide a comprehensive ecosystem, understand the pedagogical aspects and adopt the relevant usage pattern, provide rich set of affordances and guidance, and integrate into curriculum. So these are some of the things that you will need to do in order to make virtual labs a part of your curriculum and learning process. So when I mentioned a course system, and again, ma'am demonstrated that in the context of the Diksha hosted labs, apart from the simulator, which is the place where you're going to actually perform your activity, you also need access to the theory that is relevant to the lab. When the lab activity cannot stand alone, there are relevant theory, equations, and the concept that you need to understand. And you also need to understand the process and its implications. And you also you may need to, for example, plot a graph. You may want to do analyze and find the average value of something. This is what actually completes the learning experience. This is also something that will have to be done as part of the lab activity. And of course, you would like to have some review questions, some references for further studies and Viva questions and all that also to be added. So one of the things that drove us is saying we should not restrict these virtual labs to just the simulator. We should provide a comprehensive learning experience. And that's exactly what we did with this virtual lab. So you can see that in every lab, there is a theory tab, there is the procedure tab, there is animation, there are Viva questions, there are resources, all of these organized suitably. On Diksha, you may find it slightly differently organized, but this is exactly what you get. And we also ensure that you have a very large number of affordances, which we are able to bring to you. So, I mean, for example, you can try out even when the wire is of what different types of material. You can change the length of the wire. You can make the wire thicker or thin, and see whether. Okay, okay. So I'll just jump to one quick summarize it. Okay, so we would like to suggest that when you look at labs, you can look at using it before the physical lab to train to preparatory ground before you go to the lab. And in view of the time constraints, I'm going to just rush through these slides. Yeah, and these slides will be available to you. So please refer to these for there. Once the students have gone through the physical lab, you can use it to study, do reflection, do thinking around for various scenarios. And that is after the physical lab, which is also a significant value addition that you can use. And you can also use it as an instructional device. When you are actually explaining a concept in class, come to the virtual lab, actually perform that experiment in front of the class. You will be able to deepen the experience that the students have on these various concepts. And also for active learning strategies, if you want to do some discussion in the class, it would be great if you actually open the virtual lab, show a scenario, ask the student to think about, come back with answers, and then you can discuss how this is going to happen. So the virtual labs can also be a great support for experimenting with active learning strategies. And of course, if there is no physical lab, you can actually use this as at least some kind of substitute. So these things I'm going to skip because of want of time. So We are now going ahead with the experience of these labs that we have already done, that we want to look at providing proper and timely guidance. So there will be a kind of a mechanism to guide the students who are in the lab as to what he is doing, what he can do better, and things like that. Ideas of collaboration. Yeah. Okay.
Already
I will.
5 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. I will just go to the laptop and looking at it. Okay, so this is what I would like to share with you, that you can contribute to this, and if you may write to me for more details on this. Yeah, so thank you. And
Of course.
since there is no time, I'm just rushing through it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation, apprising our viewers about these important details. Well, I wish to take you once again through our webpage, but I don't think that we are left by much time. So let's quickly have a look at this webpage that is flashing on your screens. As you can see, there are 4 different steps through which you can connect with us. That is, the first one says registration, then you can watch our live sessions, and also participation in the post session activity, where we'll be releasing the quiz link for all of you on 30th September till 6 p.m. So you all have to wait till that, and till October 23rd, 2022 at 6 p.m. we'll be closing our quiz links, but you all can access till now. You have lot of time, and also your feedback is really valuable for us. Thank you so much to all the viewers who have been connecting with us in the conversation. Still so many viewers are connecting with us in this live interactive session. So here you can watch, there's a blue link flashing. It's the feedback form. It's a Google form. Once you click on it, there will be certain questions. You can also submit your feedback with us, and along with that you had certain questions in the comment section. Well, we apologize that today we were unable to take your questions due to time constraints, but certainly, yes, yeah. So we'll also try to mention all the answers of your queries in the comment section, and also as ma'am just informed, that you'll also receive the certificates for the live training sessions, the quiz that you all will be participating in. So quickly, I would like to thank to all the 3 panelists who have been a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, Professor Behra. Thank you, Indu ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much, Dr. Shashi Kumar M sir, for being a part of this conversation and guiding our path through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the viewers who have connected with NCRT, and stay connected to NCRT and keep watching PM Evidya channels. Our upcoming session is Sahyog. Namaskar.